All right, boys, today we are going to be overclocking this i5 12400 with a B760 motherboard and an Air tower cooler. You heard that right. Now, what gave me the idea for this video was Newegg had a bundle deal for this CPU and this motherboard for $200, right? So I'm thinking, Timmy can compete now. Now, for those of you new to hardware, you might not know what the letters mean on the Intel products, right? Intel basically uses three letters, K, F, and S, all right? The letter K indicates that the CPU has an unlocked multiplier. So this is a 12400F. That means the multiplier is locked on this CPU. Locked multiplier means you can't just punch in 5 gigahertz, save exit. Now, the letter F on the SKU, this one's a 12400F, means that there is no integrated graphics. So if you buy a 12900KF, it has an unlocked multiplier, but no integrated graphics. Now, the letter S, those ones are special edition CPUs. Those ones are usually overclocked to the max out of the box, such as a 12900KS, 13900KS, 14900KS. So for the purposes of this video, we are focusing on the non-K CPUs, 12400, 12500, 12100 maybe. They got 12600, 12700, and 12900 non-K. And this trick that we're going to be doing today works on all of those CPUs. Now, just as I got these in the mail, Newegg has since taken that listing down, but you can still buy these separately for $230. I will leave affiliate links down below. Make sure you use those affiliate links because it has to be this specific motherboard. This motherboard here, this B760M Riptide, has an external clock generator, which allows it to overclock locked Intel 12th gen CPUs. This trick does not work on 13th gen and 14th gen, okay? Intel fixed those CPUs, kind of like a backdoor type of trick, but Intel fixed it up for 13th and 14th gen so that you can't do it. So then I message Deepcool and I tell them about the project, right? I'm like, hey, do you guys have a CPU cooler you can send over that's kind of build appropriate? You're not going to put an LCD AIO with a $200 bundle, right? So then they were like, hey, we're going to send you over our new tower cooler. That should be more than enough to cool a 12400F. So then this video has two objectives, right? We need to do a max overclock on this bundle here, but we also need to find out how many watts of heat this CPU cooler can dissipate. So first things first, we need to go and actually delid the CPU before we do anything else because we are doing a max overclock on this thing and every last 100 megahertz is going to be critical to this build. Now, you guys have seen me delid CPUs in the past, so I'm not going to show that. I'm going to skip that part. But what I do want to check out actually is if these CPUs are soldered or not. I know in the past non-K CPUs, Intel didn't use solder, they used paste, and those were much easier to delid. So that's all I'm going to show. I'm going to delid this quickly, and then let's go see if there's actually paste or solder under here, right?
A few moments later.
Okay, so it does look like it's solder, which is actually a good thing. So if delidding kind of intimidates you or you're not really sure about it and you're new to this whole thing, don't worry about it. Solder will still perform very well out of the box.
One eternity later.
All right, CPU delid successful. Now we can move on to unboxing the CPU cooler and see how this all mounts together. Okay, so it's actually the next day and this product doesn't exist anymore. I was setting up my affiliate links for this thing, and then I went on Newegg and Amazon and all these other stores. All Deepcool products have been delisted from the USA. Apparently there was some kind of sanction or something, and Deepcool is not allowed to sell products in the US. Now, I checked Canadian Amazon and Newegg as well. It's been delisted off there as well, but you can still get this stuff from Canada Computers for those of us that are Canadian. Now, I'm going to proceed with the video as normal. If you are in the US, I will link some alternate air coolers in the description below. Something with an equivalent amount of heat pipe so you can kind of gauge what kind of performance you're going to get if you put it on a 12400F. But from what I understand, you can still pick up Deepcool products at your local retailers as long as you're not in the US. It's such a shame too, because this is probably like the nicest air cooler I've ever seen. I'm actually super stoked to see how this thing performs. So it looks like this thing's got 7 heat pipes with a nickel plated cold plate, right? So this thing should be more than enough for a 12400F. So it looks like it comes with this long kind of screwdriver thing, I guess, to tighten the cooler down. And this has got your thermal paste that comes with and your mounting hardware. So once all assembled here, I put a contact frame and did a quick lap on the CPU. Again, every degree Celsius counts here. We want to push this thing to the max. I'm going to go ahead and use the thermal paste that they supplied here, because why not? Let's see how this thing performs too. Okay, and then it goes on like this. Nice. And nice. Easy peasy. All right, here it is, all assembled. Man, that is beautiful. It actually matches the Riptide motherboard as well here. It all kind of worked out. Now, for the memory, obviously, we got to use the fastest memory on the market, the Frame Chasers memory. For those of you that want to support the channel, head on over to framechasers.org/shop. Pick yourself up a kit of Frame Chasers memory. These are hand selected and picked and validated by me personally, and once they sell out, I am not making any more of them. Guess you could say they're a collector's item too. And speaking of framechasers.org, this video was brought to you by the supporters of the channel, except for the CPU air cooler here, but everything else was paid for with supporter money. The guys in the Discord give me money every month so that I can buy hardware like this and bring this content to you guys absolutely bias-free. If you believe in the vision here at Frame Chasers of a bias-free, corporate-free review channel, head on over to framechasers.org, become a supporter, get access to the Discord, where all information in that Discord is curated and filtered to have zero misinformation. Ooh, that looks so good. Well, now that we got this whole thing assembled, let's go fire it up and get that max overclock going. Okay, so I just fired it up here, and we are going to be using a 4080 Super for the benchmarks today. I seriously doubt that anyone would buy a 4090 on this setup, but and I also doubt that we'll be able to saturate a 4080 Super with this setup too, right? But, so on defaults here, it should be clocking at 4 gigahertz. Yeah, 4 gigahertz, and then 5500 megahertz on the memory. Now, what we want to check first is if the CPU cooler can actually handle this CPU stock. So let's see, it's pulling 75-ish watts under an FPU load. Oh yeah, it's sitting at 52, 53 Celsius. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh, so I can feel the airflow. Yeah, so this tower cooler is more than enough for anything under 80 watts. So then the 3 benchmarks we're going to run here is Firestrike, CPU physics score only. We'll do a little bit of Overwatch, and we'll do a little bit of Warzone. Yeah, this thing's not even that bad out of the box, honestly. 70 FPS in the physics score in Firestrike. Yeah, not bad. So let's see what score she gives us, and we'll write it down. So we got physics 23411. So in Overwatch here, this is going to be a very simple test. We're just going to be using 1080p with a max FPS of 600. And even with this thing completely stock out of the box, we're hitting 510 FPS, right? All right, it's time for the Big Daddy Call of Duty. We're just going to use the built-in benchmark, just to keep it consistent and easy. So we're using full screen, 1080p, low everything, hit start, and this game scales with absolutely everything, so it'll be a good before and after. Right off the bat here, it looks like GPU usage is around 80%, 75, 80. Yeah, around there for a 2080 Super here, about 250 FPS. Oh yeah, it went all the way down to 64% GPU usage. So we are heavily CPU bottlenecked right now. All right, so we got average FPS 266, 1% low of 188, and yeah, so we're CPU bottlenecked 99% here. So, all right, let's go overclock this thing and run all these tests again. All right, so we are back and we are overclocked. I got this bad boy to 5.2 gigahertz and I got the RAM to 6760. This was the highest that I could go. I'm not sure if it's the motherboard or the memory controller that's limiting me, but that is the max regardless. Now let's see if the CPU cooler can handle this now. Start. So now we're at 87 Celsius, right? And we're pulling 140 watts out of a 12400F, 90 Celsius. So I would say this cooler is maxing out at about 150 watts. So it's a perfect match for a 12400F. I wouldn't put this thing on like an i9, but an i7 or below, perfectly fine. Oh yeah, look at that. Weren't we at like 70 before? Now we're at about 100. So that's, yeah, 30 more. Yeah, almost exactly the BCLK. Let's see what it gives us. 31249. Wow. So 31249 divided by 23411. Enter. Yeah, 33.5%. Yeah, 30. Damn. That's like 2 tiers of CPUs faster. Keep in mind, this is a $200 platform. Okay, yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, we're 600 FPS locked now. So we were at 500 before, fluctuating, and now it's 600 completely. All right, last but not least, Call of Duty benchmark. Let's see if this one actually shows a 33% gain as well, just like Firestrike did. Yo, holy shit. We're actually maxing out the 4080 Super. Holy shit. No way. No way. Wow. So we actually need to use a 4090 on this thing. Okay. So a 12400F is maxing out a 4080 Super. I actually can't believe that a 12400F is all you need to compete. That's incredible. Dude, holy shit. 346 and 261 in the 1% lows. That's insane. Timmy can totally compete. Oh yeah, so we went from 99% bottleneck to 40. So it's still... So with this max overclock on a 12400F, this 4080 Super seems to be the highest you can go for the sweet spot. So 346 divided by 266 equals, yeah, 30%. That's almost perfect scaling, 30%. Let's do the 1% lows. 261 divided by 188. 39% in the 1% lows. That's where the memory tuning actually really comes in. So 30% in the average and almost 40% in the 1% lows out of the box versus a max overclock on a 12400F. Just look at the FPS here for a second on the 12400F. That's absolutely crazy. This $200 platform is all you need to compete. Use those affiliate links down below. Yeah, this setup is absolutely insane. I could comfortably compete at the highest level with this hardware. Just goes to show you how much money you can save with a little bit of overclocking and optimization knowledge. So for the RAM kit, I will affiliate link probably a 6400 kit that should work out of the box XMP with no FAFO. Now, if you want to learn how to overclock this thing, the only way to get a hold of me is in my Discord. In order to join my Discord, you must go to framechasers.org, but if you can't afford to join the Discord and you still have questions on how to set this up, the other best place to get a hold of me is on my live stream on Saturdays, kick.com/framechasers. Saturdays, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you to the supporters for buying the hardware. Thank you to Deepcool for supplying the CPU cooler. And go forth, use those affiliate links, and build your Timmys, those competitive rigs. Hopefully you learned something cool today. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later.